Let's get to the latest on the war in Ukraine now. New video from our team on the ground showing the destruction there in the Ukrainian coastal village of Zatoka, just south of Odessa, following that Russian missile strike. Our Patrick Reevels saw it all firsthand. He joins me now live from Odessa. So, Patrick, what stood out to you when you saw the aftermath of this strike? You have witnessed so many.
Feel where the air is?
Hi, Kira. Yeah, honestly, the thing that stuck out to me most of all was firstly the scale of the destruction, but also that these were really just people's holiday homes. You know, we arrived and a cruise missile had landed in the garden of one of these homes and it had just obliterated a whole series of houses. It was really like a hurricane had torn through this area. And these were just people's houses. There was really no sign of an obvious military target nearby, and people told us that there was no sign of the Ukrainian military there. You know, we spoke with a woman who had actually been buried under the rubble of her house. She'd been asleep when this rocket landed. I think we actually have the video of that now when we spoke with her. She's saying she was asleep in this room when the rocket landed. You can see what's left of it. Значит, вы были внутри, да? Спали.
Материковая часть широкая, там могут стоять какие-то большие.
She's saying she actually moved away from one of the ports where the grain is being kept to try and be somewhere safer, because this area is just a holiday area. And she assumed she would be completely safe here. So you can see that the level of destruction that we were witnessing there. I mean, these were just people's homes, but they'd been completely flattened. This was a very powerful missile that had landed. It was, we believe, an anti-ship missile, which is normally, of course, meant for taking out things like aircraft carriers, but this had just landed onto people's homes. And I think really what that shows here is just the randomness of these strikes. These people actually thought they were safe because this was an area that didn't have military targets. And one woman, actually, that woman said to us that she had moved there from an actual port nearby because she believed she would be safer there.
It goes to show there's no safe area at this point, right? And President Zelensky is also sharing video, Patrick, this morning of that destruction. What was his reaction?
Yeah, President Zelensky actually shared the aftermath of that strike pretty quickly. I mean, he described it as an act of terror by Russia because he said there was neither a military base there or any other type of Ukrainian military target there, which is very much what we saw. We visited the site where he had posted this video from, and what we saw there was we saw no sign of any military presence. When we talked to people, they said it was simply a holiday resort and that a missile had landed, 2 missiles had actually landed on it, completely leveling it. And so I think really what we saw there was once again that Russia is willing to use these extremely powerful weapons in areas where there are large numbers of civilians and where very large numbers of civilians are likely to be harmed.
So this Russian strike, Patrick, you mentioned, comes on the heels of its commitment to a UN-backed agreement to resume critical grain exports from Ukraine. Will this strike impact that? We've been talking about the threat of this global food crisis and how it impacts the shipments of grain. What do you think the impact of this will be?
So I think this strike itself won't actually have much effect on that deal because it wasn't on any of the port facilities near Odessa. But of course, you know, the strike that directly hit Odessa's port last week, that absolutely had an effect. And I think, you know, really put in doubt Russia's commitment to this deal. But having said that, for now, Ukrainian officials tell us that they hope the first ships carrying grain will still begin to leave from Odessa this week. They say that the deal remains in force and they hope that it will continue to go through. But I think until those ships do leave, no one knows for sure whether this deal is going to hold.
Patrick, before you go, we're also seeing this video of the fire at an oil depot following that shelling at Donbas in the southeastern Ukraine area. What's the latest on the Russian advance there, and how are Ukrainian troops holding up?
So, you know, the advance in the east appears increasingly to really be stalling. The Russians aren't making really any gains in the last few days, and Ukrainian forces are managing to hold them back. And in fact, what people really are focused on right now is talk of a major counteroffensive in Kherson, which is the southern region, which is about 2 hours from here. And basically, it was one of the first regions that Russia was able to occupy outside of Donbas in the first days of the war. But now we're seeing increasingly signs that Ukraine is about to go on an offensive. They've been striking bridges that connect the city to Russian forces. And by the looks of it, it seems increasingly that we might be seeing a major offensive in the coming days. And that's really the question for the rest of this summer, whether Ukraine is going to be able to start trying and retake some of its lost territory in the south.
I'll tell you what, such broad and excellent reporting. Patrick Reevels there in Odessa for us. Thank you, Patrick.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.